الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Chapter 13, verse 11. Truly, God does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. America today faces immense challenges, often pressures put on our leaders and our politicians to solve. But tonight, I would like to focus on a different group of people, a group of people that are supposed to hold the real power, a group of people that have always helped reform America. And these are the American citizens, people like you and I, because we are the people America desperately needs today. But where are we today? And to understand our place in society, we must understand the concept of popular consent. Popular consent is how a democracy runs. We elect our leaders who represent us in government. But in our history, consensus has been a double-edged sword, because it was consensus that once endorsed slavery, that prevented women from voting, that kept alive segregation even after it was outlawed. So consensus can sometimes mask a country's true ideals, because the opinions people have can be manipulated. Fringe groups understand too well the power of fear and bigotry. The impact the KKK had, for example, was to desensitize Americans to levels of terrorism they would have previously never accepted. And this is what made racism so rampant and so hard to overcome. And this is why Dr. King is so special, because he was able to fight a skewed consensus by popularizing the concept of freedom and dignity for all, the idea that we are all created equal. He realigned America with its own constitution. And that was his dream. But yet again, not too many years later, America's vision has again become clouded, thanks to the steam of hate mongers. We no longer look at our nation with hearts that believe in we are all created equal, but with suspicions based on religion and ethnicity. When it comes to terrorism and Islam, the American public has again become misled. For it is not Islam or Muslims that we see, but rather the unconcealed hate from fringe groups on both sides, which only seek to make us forget that we are all created equal. And many of us have forgotten. Instead of lynching in the South or concentration camps in California, we now have Guantanamo, and we have the Patriot Act, and we have full-body scanners. So tonight, I have a dream. I have a dream to make the idea that we are all created equal a reality. And I need your help. It may perhaps surprise some of you that I was never taught the Islam most Americans learn from their televisions. The Islam I was taught at my madrasa, which is the Arabic word for school in terror camp, actually gave me many lessons that can help clear America's vision today. There at madrasa, I learned the true values of love and mercy. How one could never gain mercy from God if he didn't show mercy to God's creation. That love and a concern for society was just a natural extension of one's faith. That removing obstacles from the road was just a means of worshiping God. I learned that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that leaders should be the servants of their communities, that they should serve the public before they serve themselves. 14 centuries ago, he established that lobbying was illegal, that it was wrong to use government money to fund personal luxuries. The Prophet Muhammad himself instituted the concept of shura, a democratic council wherein he would consult his followers and take their opinions. Because at the end of the day, he desired to do the most correct thing. And perhaps the most profound lesson I learned was from the verse of the Quran I just recited. Truly, God does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. And since America lives in a democracy, I believe that this message is extremely relevant to the American community. Because America, whenever it strayed away from the ideals of its Constitution, was always reined in by its citizens. Its citizens. People like Dr. King, Malcolm X, and so many others. And it is this which brings me immense hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the ones who have to change. A healthy democracy requires a healthy citizenry that can build an informed consensus. We have to realize that there will be no hope and no reform until we reform ourselves, until we dig in our heels and open our eyes and realize that the mass media we have been absorbing for such a long time is doing nothing but promoting the worldviews of the corporations that own them. Now, real knowledge comes from embarking upon your own path of discovery and witnessing things for yourself. America is the strongest nation in the world, and we are potentially the strongest citizens in the world. The opinions you and I have, the consensus you and I form, has a huge impact in the world. We have to realize that America will never become a beacon of light in the world until we become beacons of light in our communities. That we will never make peace with the world until we make peace with ourselves and our families. That the world will continue to glare at us with angry eyes so long as we continue to close our eyes at the actions of our government. That our government will never listen to us if we don't speak up and resist the pressure to live in herds and aspire to become leaders at whatever level we can. But today, most of us are seemingly living our own lives, even as our country slips further and further. But we must remember that if we're all content to blindly trust our government and stop educating ourselves and participating, then we no longer deserve our status as citizens, and we no longer should expect to receive any rights. Ladies and gentlemen, change is long overdue. But the question I want everyone to ask themselves tonight is, are we ready? Are we ready to change ourselves? Thank you.